This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock has tips to protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report phishing, and update the software on your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, let LifeLock alert you to suspicious uses of your personal information. LifeLock also fixes identity theft, guaranteed or your money back. Stay smart, safe, and protected with a 30-day free trial at lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. New players, new games, new rules. Squid Game, The Challenge returns for a gripping second season. 456 contestants from all walks of life, competing in the ultimate test of strategy, alliances, and endurance. For a life-changing prize of $4.56 million. With stakes this high, why make friends when you can make millions? Watch Squid Game, The Challenge Season 2, only on Netflix November 4th.
Welcome to the 38th edition or episode of the Inside Job Boards and Recruitment Marketplaces podcast. I am your co-host, Stephen Rothberg. I'm the founder and chief visionary officer of College Recruiter job search site. We believe that every student and recent grad deserves a great career. And over to my co-host.
I'm Peter Zollman. I'm with the AIM Group. We do business intelligence, consulting, and conferences for online recruitment marketplaces. We've been around for 25 years, and the podcast is a relatively new thing for us, although 38 editions quite surprises me, Stephen. It feels like it's been 10 years working with you. With us is Ryan StGermaine. He is in British Columbia. He is founder, former CEO, and advisor, led multiple recruitment tech companies, including BCjobs.ca and Jobcast. So you sold BCjobs.ca. What did you do right? What did you do wrong? And what should everybody not do? And that's a 10-second question.
That's a 10-second question. Well, I would say if I got to get it down quickly, I would say prepare early. And all these things are simple things that you hear all the time, like make a better company, right? Like, look at are you scaling fast? Great. That's one type of sale. Are you getting steady step growth? Know what kind of business you are, know what you want out of your company, and know what the end game is for your company. So I think that would be the top one that I would have, and then surround yourself with good people that can help you along the way.
So did you build the business to sell it? Did you reach a point where it was just kind of like, hey, I've got a maybe struggling business, I better sell it, or I've got a great business, this is the time to sell it? Give us a little bit of background on that.
We had a beautiful business. It was cash flow by design. It was niche to British Columbia. We had built boards across Canada, so we had provincial sites in each province. Primarily, our revenue was in BC, and we had, Alberta was second most, and then across Canada, we had revenue there. It was this amazing, very highly profitable business that we had carved out a niche in. We partnered with a lot of the local tech associations, accounting designations. And so we had no real intention of selling. And then we were approached. And when the serious offer came in, it just felt like time. I think we'd achieved a lot of the things that we wanted to achieve. And, an exit is life-changing. In Canada, there's a lifetime capital gains exemption on the first $825,000. So that's nice, and at the end of the day, it just matters how much goes in your pocket. We can get, we can get confused by this top number that comes out, but you really need to have that sound advice with it. And when we saw what the numbers looked like, we were like, yeah, that looks pretty good.
So follow-up question to that is, as the people who are watching the video can see, I'm wearing a Team Canada hockey jersey. So Ryan, the question I have is, Team Canada, a great team or the greatest team?
I have to say the greatest team because I'm Canadian. That being said, I'm a horrible hockey fan these days. I used to watch everyone, and I
I'm sorry. The audio is terrible. I'm definitely not hearing that answer.
And I'm a big Buffalo Sabres fan, having covered them as a hockey writer for United Press International when they had the best line ever in the NHL, René Robert, Rick Martin, and Gilbert Perreault. The
The
French
French
Connection
Connection.
line, absolutely fabulous. But back to job boards. One of the things I heard once at a conference, and I'm scratching my head trying to figure out who said it, but one of the things I heard once was when you're selling your business, try to leave some meat on the bones for the next guy. Because if you've maxed out, there's nothing more for them to do. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I'd say a good deal is a done deal that satisfies your needs, and it's not just money. So looking at the whole picture of it, that first offer we got wasn't the offer we took. We ended up leveraging that to someone in my network who connected us, and we went through the due diligence process. We ended up losing it because we had a very high multiple. It was a strategic, and at the end of the day, we couldn't close the deal, and so that took a lot more time. The deal that we ended up taking at the end, great company, private. It ended up being a private equity firm called Lola, and it was great. It was good multiples. It wasn't like the top of the multiples, but it was a clean deal. It was one of the things that we wanted to do is ensure that everything stayed in place and that we had a clean exit. We prepared the business so that it didn't need us, and we wanted to have a simple transition with that. Looking at it today. They're doing great. I got a great relationship. I helped onboard and hire Simon, who's their GM there, and we're hosting some founder events together in BC. And they're doing better now than they were when we sold it. Having that said, we sold in February of 2020, and I said I'm going to travel the world. And then in March, he said, "No, I'm staying home with everybody else." So,
Perfect timing. Perfect timing for traveling the world.
So all of that stuff was your fault then. Okay.
If anybody asks, I have impeccable timing, and I knew exactly what was going to happen in the market, or dumb luck.
One or the other.
So a question for you about niche boards or niche boards, since you're in Canada and you speak Canadian. You obviously competed for a while with the Canadian juggernaut Workopolis, which then was taken out by Indeed, and they became the job juggernaut in Canada. How does a niche board compete with a juggernaut, and what did you do to make BC Jobs stand out?
Hey friends, Marnie Robbins here, host of Vibe Makers, a podcast now on the Work Defined Network. Look, we all know workplace culture doesn't come from a slide deck. Gross. It comes from people. So on Vibe Makers, I talk to the folks shaping the experience of work from the inside out. You know, the HR and people ops folk, founders, leaders, and misfits building culture through small bets, big beliefs, and a whole lot of trial and error. No fluff. Well, maybe a little fluff, but mainly just candid talk about what happens when you stop duct taping your culture together. Come check us out. Listen to Vibe Makers wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, I think pick your fights. So, Workopolis, for example, did very well back east, and when, but didn't really focus on British Columbia as much in the beginning. And so we built a moat there. And once we'd done that, it was very difficult to compete with us. We ran leaner. I don't like to go on price, but we were regionally priced. I think we were at the high end of regional, but there is a different, dynamic there. And so we just carved out a moat for us. We chose, a few verticals. So we're like, okay, let's focus on verticals. We partnered with accounting. We partnered with tech. And so it was very hard for us to get out. And I think because of that, that's when Indeed came out, a lot of us know the whole job board saga where it's like, hey, we're your friends. And, and then they slowly started indexing the enterprise and the mid-sized companies. Well, we were one of the last boards that they stopped providing traffic to because of the diversity of jobs that we had in British Columbia, a lot of SMBs in the market. And so we were able to compete quite well because of that. So I think just, being strategic and looking at where they're not doing a good job and then going hard into those markets.
Excellent. We heard sort of a similar kind of strategy from Serge Boudreau with Career Beacon in Atlantic Canada, but it's not a Canadian thing. It applies anywhere. So tell us a little bit about StGermaine Consulting. What do you do? Who are your clients? What do the consulting gigs look like?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been advising and helping companies on and off for years, informally and sometimes a little bit more formally. It's just something I like to do. I co-founded the Startup Roundtable for BC Tech. Been quite involved in the ecosystem, hosting large scale events, and so I mean, last year I ended up jumping in on one full time. It was Canadian Media Fund funded startup, and my friend Tam asked me to come in and lead it. So I actually was quite hands on. Now I can't actually talk about, so I've been helping a company through due diligence at the moment. This one's not a job board in its conventional business. And unfortunately with the current market, it fell through, as these things do happen. But with the current cost of money, sometimes deals get trickier. And another one, I was approached by a recruitment tech company that, was trying to understand what things could look like for them. And right now we're just going through and discussing, what levers could we pull in the business that could help it grow to make it more profitable? Is it the right time to sell? What are you looking to get from that? And so getting them some idea of what the market will look like for them. Because it's very broad, even within a job board, the industry, it depends, how big is your board? How competitive is that space? Are there strategics that are interested in coming into a certain geography, a certain vertical, a certain piece of tech that you've done? So I think it's looking at that landscape and really identifying who are the strategics, what is the plan for execution, is everybody aligned in that plan, and do you know who's going to be leading it internally? So sort of helping people to better understand themselves and what they're trying to achieve.
Sounds good. I have been officially tasked with the last question, but we only have about 20 seconds left. So any parting words, and then I'll wrap up.
Any parting words? I think I'm running out of my time here thinking about it, but I think just, it's something to always think about early and often. Even if you're not going to sell your business, the process of understanding how you sell your business makes you better at what you do. We became a better business in the last 2 years of operating. Good point. And I know Stephen would never think of selling his business, and I would never think of selling our business, but still good lessons for us to learn. On that note, we're going to say thank you very much. We appreciate it. If people want to get in touch with you, we presume they can find you with StGermaine Consulting or Ryan StGermaine on LinkedIn or somewhere like that. Is that a fair assessment? Perfect. That is
and now we're going to let Stephen play his going away commercial.
Yeah, we have a new little feature. Thanks, Ryan. We have a new little feature that we're going to add to the end of each broadcast, because we have people who don't really know what AIM Group is, what College Recruiter is. And so we're just going to have what's called a post-roll video for about a minute. It'll help people understand what the heck it is that we do. Ryan, it has been awesome. Peter, great to see you again, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye, everybody. Nice to see you all.
Take care.
College Recruiter believes that every student and recent grad deserves a great career, and that hiring early career candidates should be simple, take almost no time for your team to manage, and be very cost-effective. We help Fortune 1000 companies, government agencies, and other organizations who hire at scale, meaning dozens or even hundreds a year, and who find it expensive and inefficient to attract, engage, and hire early career candidates. Our 2 core products tap into our talent pool of more than 20 million students and recent grads of almost 8,000 colleges and universities globally. For more brand awareness, we use our targeted email product, CR Brand Blast. Simply tell us who your message should reach by geography, school, major, years of graduation, languages, gender, and race. You'll get the entire subject line and message body. will then deliver your HTML email to the inboxes of tens or even hundreds of thousands of matching candidates who have opted in to receive these messages. Or to drive high-quality applicants at the lowest cost, use our automated job posting product, Jobs at Scale. We'll scrape your career site or import a feed of just the jobs you want us to run. Then, we'll use our proprietary programmatic technology to get your postings in front of our highly targeted early career candidates and drive them to your career site to apply. Pricing is either on a traditional, duration basis, so a flat fee for a certain number of months, or on a pay-per-performance model where we bill monthly just for the candidates we delivered to your career site the previous month. At College Recruiter, we drive applications within days of you saying yes, deliver 22% more applicants at a 39% lower cost, deliver candidates who are 15% more racially diverse. Request a demo today at collegerecruiter.com/employers. College Recruiter believes that every student and recent grad